Good morning, students. We will talk about acute tonsillitis and different types of tonsillitis in this lecture. Primarily, tonsils are lymphoid structure which are present in the oropharynx between the anterior pillar and posterior pillar. They usually consist of superficial epithelium, which is non-keratizing stratified squamous epithelium. This epithelium is continuous with the lining of this oral cavity and inferior region of oropharynx. Now, tonsillar tissue have crypts which are tube-like invagination from the surface epithelium into the lymphoid structure. And third is the lymphoid tissue of the tonsil. So, tonsil are ovoid mass of lymphoid tissue which are present in the oropharynx. The larger crypts is known as crypta magna and other crypts are small than the crypta magna. So this is the surface epithelium. These are the crypts 1, 2 and 3. Many crypts can be present and these are the proper lymphoid tissue in the tonsil. Bed of the tonsil. Bed of the tonsil consists of the structure which are present on the lateral side of the tonsil. Tonsil is usually consists of a capsule which is on the lateral side of tonsil, followed by there will be loose areolar tissue or some fatty tissue in which there will be running peritonsillar vein in the loose areolar tissue, followed by there will be pharyngobasilar fascia and buccopharyngeal fascia, and in between is the superior constrictor muscle. After that there will be styloglossus muscle, ninth nerve, mandible and medial pterygoid and masseter muscle attached to it. So styloid process is also present in the bed of the tonsil just lateral to this buccopharyngeal fascia. So whenever we need to do glossopharyngeal neurectomy or styloidectomy, we can do after removing this tonsil. Blood supply of the tonsil. Tonsil is mainly supplied by the tonsillar branch of the facial artery, but other branches from the ascending pharyngeal artery, ascending palatine artery which is a branch of facial artery, branch from the lingual artery, and some of the blood supply also comes from the maxillary artery. So overall tonsil is mainly supplied by the branches of the external carotid artery. Venous drainage. Tonsil usually drains into the paratonsillar vein which is present in the bed of the tonsil, and from paratonsillar vein to the common facial vein and pharyngeal venous plexus. Glossopharyngeal nerve and laser palatine branch of the spinopalatine ganglion usually supply the tonsils. Lymphatic drainage. Tonsil lymphatics drain into the upper deep cervical node, particularly jugulodigastric node just below the angle of mandible, or level 1B lymph node just below the angle of mandible. So whenever a patient has a tonsil infection or acute or chronic tonsillitis, those type of patient can develop enlarged lymph node over the level just below the angle of mandible. Functions of the tonsil. Immune system's first line of defense against the ingested or inhaled pathogen are the tonsils. As they are situated in the oropharynx, our food bolus or air containing virus or bacteria will pass from the space between two tonsil over the right and left tonsil. So tonsil have on their surface specialized antigen capture cells, which are also called M cells. They allow for the uptake of the antigen produced by the pathogens. So whenever there are some pathogens which are present in the food bolus or inhaled air, these M cells capture them, and after that they will alert the B cells and T cells. So they will start the immune mechanism against that particular antigen, and response will be given by our immune system. B cells are activated from the tonsils, and sometimes also B cells also proliferate in the areas called germinal centers in the tonsil. These germinal centers are places where B memory cells are created and secretory antibody IgA are produced. Tonsil also produce the T lymphocytes, also known as T cells. T cells usually mainly produced by the thymus gland, but sometimes tonsils also help in production of T cells. Acute tonsillitis, that is the acute infection of the tonsil and its substances. It can be bacterial or viral. This bacterial or viral infection on tonsil can occur by ingestion or inhalation of bacteria or virus containing food and air respectively. Sometimes acute tonsillitis can also be a part of acute generalized granular pharyngitis. So tonsillitis is usually divided according to the infection which are present in the substance of the tonsil. So there are mainly 4 types of acute tonsillitis. First is acute catarrhal or superficial tonsillitis, in which infection is spread up to the superficial non-keratinizing stratified squamous epithelium. This type of tonsil usually present as a generalized granular pharyngitis with tonsillitis. So tonsillitis is a part of pharyngitis. In this, tonsils are red, but there is no pus formation over the tonsillar substances. Acute follicular tonsillitis, in which infection spreads into the crypts of the tonsil, and there will be formation of pus which is present as a white dot over the crypts from the tonsil. Here you can see there are 2 or 3 whitish dots, and there are multiple whitish dots present over the right side of tonsil. So that is known as acute follicular tonsillitis. This is more commonly seen in bacterial tonsillitis, and this is more commonly seen in viral tonsillitis. Acute parenchymatous tonsillitis, in which infection spreads from the surface epithelium and creeps into the lymphoid structure of the tonsil. So whole of the tonsil is enlarged, inflamed and tender. Here you can also see that anterior pillar and posterior pillar both are inflamed and redness present. There is also edema over the uvula, and there is granular pharyngitis also over the posterior pharyngeal wall. Acute membranous tonsillitis. Whenever acute follicular tonsillitis is present, this pus will come out over the surface of the tonsil, and all the pus over the surface of the tonsil will form a membrane, and this membrane will be known as acute membranous tonsillitis. You can see a whitish membrane over the both tonsil. On removal of this membrane, there will be inflamed mucosa will be teared, and there will be bleeding from the tonsil. Etiology. Tonsillitis in acute phase is usually more commonly seen in a school-going children up to the 5 to 10 years of age. Common organisms are hemolytic streptococcus, staphylococcus, pneumococcal and Haemophilus influenza. Symptoms and signs. patient will develop sore throat or foreign body sensation in throat, difficulty in swallowing, more likely pain while swallowing in the that is known as odynophagia. Infection is present, so there will be fever with body ache with malaise. Earache can be there as pain will be supplied to the ear by the glossopharyngeal nerve, and other constitutional symptoms as fever, malaise, body ache and lethargy will be present. Signs of the acute tonsillitis: breath is usually fatigued and tongue is coated with the whitish membrane. There will be hyperemia or congestion over the uvula, soft palate and anterior and posterior pillar. There will be red and swollen tonsillitis with yellow spot as seen in follicular tonsillitis or membrane in the membranous tonsillitis. Sometimes jugulo-digastric lymph node will be enlarged. Main treatment is bed rest, plenty of fluid. After confirming the antibiotic bacterial tonsillitis, we should be given antibiotic like amoxiclav, cefixime, azithromycin, analgesic and painkiller, and local antiseptic as the betadine or chlorhexidine gargle. Sometimes if severe tonsillitis with increased WBC count is present, then we need to give injectable antibiotic also. Complications of acute tonsillitis: sometimes some of the infection remains in tonsil after an episode of acute tonsillitis. This infection will usually flare up when patient's immune response is low, and that will convert into a chronic tonsillitis after repeated episodes of acute tonsillitis. Sometimes after episode of acute tonsillitis, pus will burst into the peritonsillar abscess after the bursting of capsule of tonsil, and that will develop peritonsillar abscess or quinsy. Parapharyngeal abscess can develop into the parapharyngeal space. Cervical abscess can develop over the level 1B or jugulo-digastric lymph node. Patient can develop acute otitis media after the involvement of eustachian tube into the nasopharynx. Some of the infection can spread up to the valves of the heart and can develop rheumatic fever, acute glomerulonephritis and subacute bacterial endocarditis, more commonly seen in a streptococcal variant. Differential diagnosis of acute membranous tonsillitis. So we have already seen that in acute membranous tonsillitis there will be formation of membrane. This type of membrane can also seen over the different other disease also. In diphtheria there will be also the acute tonsillitis, but which is more severe in nature. Diphtheria is usually slow onset, less discomfort in initial stage. After patient will develop severe pain with bull neck appearance, in which there will be multiple lymph node enlargement over level 1A, 1B, 2, 3 and 4 lymph node, and patient will have bull neck appearance over the neck. Membrane can also present beyond the tonsil over the soft palate, uvula, both pillars, and this membrane can also reach up to the larynx, and patient can develop difficulty in breathing or stridor. Diagnosis of diphtheria can be made by Albert Stein after taking throat swab. Vincent angina, that is usually unilateral. There will be membrane present over a unilateral tonsil which bleeds on touch, and organism is fusiform bacilli or spirochetes. Infectious mononucleosis, that usually affect the young adult and affect our immune system. There will be enlarged posterior triangle nodes with splenomegaly. This enlarged tonsil or infected tonsil will give no response to antibiotic treatment, and on doing CBC there will be more than 50% lymphocytes in the blood. Agranulocytosis, in which there will be ulcerative lesion involving the oropharynx. Severely ill patient will be there and leukocyte count is usually decreased. In leukemia, there will be also increase in size of tonsil and there will be increased lymph node enlargement. Aphthous ulcer involving tonsil and anterior pillar can give membrane over the tonsil. Malignancy of tonsil can be differential diagnosis of acute membranous tonsillitis. Malignancy is usually more commonly seen after the 30 or 40 years of age. Patient will have addiction of tobacco or bidi smoking, and on touching this membrane there will be bleeding. But the tissue are more friable than acute tonsillitis. Traumatic ulcer can be present, more commonly seen due to vigorous brushing or more commonly seen in children while playing some sharp object in the mouth. Chronic tonsillitis. Main etiology for chronic tonsillitis is due to the complication of acute tonsillitis as a result of developed microabscesses walled off by fibrous tissue. Whenever acute tonsillitis is present and inadequate antibiotic course is given, then there will be formation of subclinical infection which is present in the tonsillar substances. This subclinical infection will be increased when patient's immune response is low. So mainly that is due to the inadequate antibiotic course, subclinical infection of the tonsil, and sometimes chronic infection like dental caries in oral cavity, chronic infection of nose, nasopharynx and sinusitis can cause repeated episodes of chronic tonsillitis due to the concurrent infection into the tonsil. Types are chronic follicular tonsillitis, in which crypts are mainly covered with the full of cheesy material or pus on the medial wall and appear like yellowish spot. Chronic parenchymatous tonsillitis, in which there will be hyperplasia of the lymphoid tissue, so there will be enlarged tonsil. Sometimes they meet with each other. Medial surface of both tonsil will meet with each other in the oropharynx, and that is known as kissing tonsil, and they interfere with the speech, deglutination and respiration. Chronic fibroid tonsils, small fibroid tissue due to the repeated infection of the tonsil, and there will be recurrent attack of sore throat associated with it. In chronic parenchymatous tonsillitis, there will be increase in the size of the tonsil. Grade 1 will be some tonsil which is present between the anterior and posterior pillar. Grade 2 is you cannot see the posterior pillar behind the tonsil. Grade 3 is between grade 2 and grade 4. And grade 4 is kissing tonsil, in which both tonsil will meet with each other in the midline. Signs of chronic tonsillitis. There will be flushing or congestion over the anterior pillar. Pressing of anterior pillar will cause cheesy material coming out from the crypts of the tonsil from the medial surface, and there will be enlargement of jugulo-digastric or level 1b lymph node. If any of two is present, it is suggestive of chronic tonsillitis. Treatment is mainly conservative and surgical if patient has a repeated episode of tonsillitis or tonsils are so much enlarged that they will cause difficulty in speaking, deglutination and respiration. Tonsillectomy should be considered. Complications are parapharyngeal abscess, peritonsillar abscess, tonsillar cyst, tonsillolith and intratonsillar abscess. In tonsillolith, there will be formation of a stone in the tonsil and calcium or magnesium carbonate stones which are present in the tonsillolith. Whenever there is formation of membrane over the tonsillolith or formation of membrane over the medial surface of the crypt which is containing cheesy material, it will form tonsillar cyst. Tonsillolith can be removed under local anesthesia or just press over the anterior pillar so that it will come out from the crypt, or tonsillar cyst can be removed keeping an incision over the mucosa over cyst and cheesy material will come out from this cyst. Complication of the tonsillitis, as we have previously seen, it can cause recurrent tonsillitis, chronic tonsillitis, peritonsillar abscess, parapharyngeal retropharyngeal abscess, and otitis media. Sinusitis, laryngitis, and bronchitis can occur as infection can spread up to the different surrounding structures. Severe complications which are systemic in nature are the sequelae of more commonly streptococcal tonsillitis, as delayed type of antigen antibody reaction can give rise to the post streptococcal disease like acute glomerulonephritis, acute rheumatic fever, and rheumatic endocarditis. So this is all about acute tonsillitis, different types, their treatment, and chronic tonsillitis. Thank you.